Yo, what's down everyone? I'm back and I have made so many trades. Every single day that I've had this 1 month builders club, I have been grinding the trades except for yesterday. Yesterday I didn't really do anything. But the reason I didn't do anything is because Roblox released these brand new wistful faces and, they released 3 of them. They were only 100 Robux each. So obviously I bought every single one of them. I'll show you some more about that later on in the video, but for now, I'm gonna show you about over 20 trades which I've made. I think over 25, like 26 or something. As you know, in the last episode, we did this trade. That was the only trade that we did. And now this is the first one. The first new one that we did. I gave the Shaggy and my daily 15 Robux for Riptide. So that was a pretty good trade. Now at the time, Shaggy was like, it got inflated, you know, it was like Christmas time, a lot of things got inflated, so Shaggy was like 200, and Riptide was around like 200 as well. Riptide didn't really get inflated too badly. So I gave Shaggy and 15 Robux for Riptide, and now Shaggy dropped down because it got inflated, and Riptide is still like the same price, because it didn't get inflated. And then I gave the Riptide for the, oh gosh, Cataclysmic egg, which was a pretty good trade, you know. I won like 13 wrap, which was like 10%, less than 10%, but you know, around that area of like my value. Now 10 wrap is like nothing, absolutely nothing. Oh, I've done so much. You guys just wait until the end of the video, okay? We're gonna go through every trade. And then after that trade, I did this trade right here, where I gave the Cataclysmic egg for the Crazy Bot 10,000, which honestly wasn't bad at the time, but now looking at it, it's not that good. But honestly, it worked out in the end. So yeah, I gave the egg for the Crazy Bot 10,000, and at the time the Crazy Bot was like probably like a dozen wrap above like the egg, so now it dropped down, but it doesn't matter. I've already gotten rid of the Crazy Bot. And remember, at the time, like the Crazy Bot I think was like 250. I don't even remember properly, but it was like, it was way higher than right now. So I managed to get the Angry Pilgrim, which I'm guessing this guy accepted the trade mainly because the Angry Pilgrim is like super low demand, and the Crazy Bot is really high demand, and well, the value was higher as well, but now it dropped badly. I also did this trade, which was really shocking. I was actually trying to get rid of the Angry Pilgrim, and then randomly, right when I left the trade hangout, this guy randomly offered the Bacon Ninja, and that at the time that was like a 100 wrap win. It still is. Like, to me at the time, like, how many days ago? 3 days ago, 100 wrap was a crazy amount. Like, when I got this trade, I got so happy. Because the start of this series is really difficult because you have, like, no items to work with. You have, like, 100 wrap to work with. And getting, like, 100 wrap win here was crazy. And then I traded off the Bacon Ninja for the Cuckoo Crazy Bot 10,000. Which at the time wasn't too bad, I guess. I lost a little bit of wrap, but I did gain demand, and the Cuckoo Crazy Bot is, it's pretty good, I guess. And it gets way more offers than the Bacon Ninja, so I guess this wasn't that bad of a deal. And then I traded the Cuckoo Crazy Bot for 2 Manic Bot 10,000s, which the Manic Bot 10,000s were, I think, around like, probably like 250, probably more than that actually. And the Cuckoo Crazy Bot was probably around like 500, so that was a pretty good win. And it still is sort of a win. I won by 23 wrap at, like, right now. Then I did this trade. Now remember, at the time, the Manic Bots were worth way more, and this was pretty good. It was pretty good. I got the Future Vision Green Gaze, which is, that was like probably my favorite item. It's okay demand. It's kind of new, so its demand is even higher because it's newer. And I also got Riptide and 11 Robux. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Riptide is pretty useful, I guess. If you want to like even out a trade, you can just toss that in. So that it was pretty good having that small to work with. And then the Future Vision Green Gaze is pretty small as well, you know, compared to my other accounts with 600k wrap. It's pretty small, but on this count, that's my largest item. Not anymore though, I'm way richer now. And then I actually managed to trade off the Riptide for the Crazy Bot 10,000, which at the time the Crazy Bot was like 250 or like, I don't know, it was way higher than the Riptide. That's all that I remember. Then I did this, which was pretty good. I gave the Future Vision Green Gaze and the Crazy Bot for the Putrid Green Head in a jar, Now the putrid green head in a jar did drop, but at the time it was a really good win. It was like I think around like 100 wrap win, so that was pretty good. And then I gave that jar for the Raven lightning hood, which was a big mistake. Right after I did this trade, the hood dropped by a lot, so that wasn't very good. And since I noticed that it was dropping, I quickly traded it off for the Crazy Bot 10,000 and the Cuckoo Crazy Bot 10,000. Now this was a pretty good trade, you know, considering that the Raven hood was dropping to like 400. Now the hood did manage to go back up, so that's good. And at the time, like, I think it was the same day that the Icy Depths Fedora went limited, and it was dropping quite badly, so I'm like, maybe it'll go back up, you know? It dropped by a lot, maybe it'll go back up, you know? It's a new limited, you can never know what can happen. So I gave my 2 bot faces for it, and it didn't really work out. The bot faces at the time were like worth 600 wrap, and the Icy Depths Fedora dropped down to like 500, so I lost 100 wrap, and I also had, I upgraded, so I only had 1 item to work with instead of 2, which is bad. So this was a bad trade. This made me lose like all of my motivation. But then later on in the same day, I made this trade, which honestly, oh my gosh, this is a big win. I gave the Fedora for the Skull Roblox since past, and somehow I made him add 35 Robux, which doesn't even make any sense. At the time, I don't even remember how much the Fedora was, but I just remember that it was dropping hard, so I wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible. So I guess its wrap was probably higher than what I said before. Before I said 500, it was probably like maybe 600 or 650 or something. But I also remember that the Skull Roblox since past dropped. It was like 500 wrap, I think. So, or like 550, so yeah, looking at this now is a big overpay, but at the time it was pretty even, I guess. And the thing with the Skull Roblox since past is that the wrap was really low and the price was really high, so with small items, most people go by wrap, and they don't go by like value. So I had to get rid of the Skull Roblox since past for not 800 value, but I had to get rid of it for like 550 wrap, which And one day at the trade hangout, I just went up to this random person, and I'm like, hey, can I buy your 2009 graduation cap for 229 Robux? Which was all my Robux at the time. I think I sold, oh, I forgot what I sold. Oh, I sold my Crazy Bot 10,000 for like 239 Robux, and I think I also had like 30 Robux from that Skull Robloxian's past trade. So I had like 229 Robux. So I don't even know why, but this person actually did it. I just went up to them randomly, and I'm just like, hey, can I buy your graduation cap for like half the price? And then she's like, okay, but how do I do that? So this person was pretty newbie, but she didn't even care. She wanted to get rid of it for some reason. Maybe she wanted the Robux for like some other hats or things. Maybe she didn't want to be a trader. So I bought it for like half the price, and that made my motivation go from like 0 to 100 real fast. And with the graduation cap and the Cuckoo Crazy Bot, I traded it off for the Sinister Branches, which was a really good deal. And I also got the graduation cap for super cheap, so that makes it even better. And then I posted that I want to get rid of my Sinister Branches, and some guy sent a crazy OP. He overpaid by like 200 ROP. But the thing that he was giving me a really low demand item, so I guess that's why he overpaid. But in the end, it worked out. I traded that crappy hat for the Golden Chrome Shades, which is a pretty good deal. The Golden Chrome Shades have pretty good demand, and it's a new hat as well, so it has even more demand because of that. And it was also pretty cheap at the time, and I knew that it was gonna go up, you know? Now, at the time, like, the Golden Chrome Shades were like 900 RAP, and the cap that I gave was like, I think, 1050, so I was overpaying by quite a bit, but I knew that the Chrome Shades were gonna go up, so I sent this trade, and he accepted it. And at this point, all those new, like, those wistful faces, the blue, the green, the purple, and the pink came out. And, like, I noticed that the Crazy Bots were dropping like crazy. They were going for, like, 150 each. So I sold my Golden Chrome Shades, and I also needed a Robux to, like, buy the faces, because that was going to be an obvious, like, profits right there, the faces. Both the faces, the wistful and the Crazy Bots. So I sold my Golden Chrome Shades. Now this was risky because, you know, Roblox, the 30% fee, which is just a crazy amount. But I risked it, and I managed to buy the 3 faces, the purple, the green, and the blue one. Now they were 100 each, so that's 300 Robux already. And then I also bought 4 Crazy Bot faces for super cheap. I bought one for 130, one for 140, and then two for 129, which is super cheap. At the time they were like, I think 250, so they dropped like crazy because of those wistful faces. And with those crazy bots, I managed to trade it off for Cardboard Bowler, which was a pretty good trade. Now it still is a pretty good trade. At the time, like, the Cardboard Bowler was, I think, 200 wrap, maybe 100 wrap over my crazy bots. So I instantly did that trade. And then here it took me forever to get rid of the bowler, just because its demand was pretty low, you know. Its demand is really low, pretty much. But I managed to get rid of it for a really good offer. I got the Sinister Branches back, and I also got the Manic Bot, which is really good. Two really high demand items, pretty stable, I guess. The Sinister Branches at the time were really unstable. That's probably the main reason why why the person who I sent the trade to actually did it. The Sinister Branches were like dropping like crazy. The wrap was like 600 and it was dropping even more. But it managed to come back up, which is good. And then I gave the Sinister Branches for the new portrait, which at the time had like probably like 900, yeah, around 900 wrap. And the Sinister Branches were around like maybe 800. And I sent this to like 2 pages of the portrait owners, and 2 people actually accepted it, but the other one got rejected. But the thing is, after I did this trade, I noticed that the portrait was dropping, so I got nervous, so I wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible, which was not a good idea. I then traded the portrait back for the Sinister Branches, so it's like nothing happened. I just traded back. And now I regret it, because the portrait is now 150 Robux, higher than the Sinister Branches, so probably shouldn't have traded it back. And this was today, actually. I made 4 trades today, mainly because of the wistful faces going, they actually went limited. It had a 2-day timer, and it's finally been 2 days. So, like, at the time, the green one was, I think, like, 300. It still is around, like, 300 now. And the purple one was, I think, like, 400. So I managed to trade them, the green and the purple one, off for the sword pack, which is a pretty good deal. And then I got this good offer. This guy wanted the Sinister Branches and the blue Wistful Wink for the deluxe game headset. The blue Wistful Wink at the time was probably, like, 500, and the Sinister Branches were probably, like, the same prices now, so it was a bit more even back then. And then I traded off my last blue Wistful Wink for the Raven Lightning Hood, which at the time was like 500. It randomly rose right now, like in like the past few hours. It rose by a lot, and I still have it, which is a good thing. And you know how I gave the green and the purple Wistful Faces for the sword pack? Yeah, I managed to give the sword pack for the green and the purple one, and the blue one. So I pretty much profited the blue one for free. So that's like a free Wistful Face right there. That was so good. So yeah, that is it for the episode. We reviewed, well, we completed over 25 trades in like, how many days was that? About like 3 or 4 days, which is really crazy. We went from like 100 to 3.2k in just a few days. Not bad, not bad at all.